Welcome back to the Daughters of the Moon podcast. We're grateful you can join us for another
We
week.
sure are.
And today we are going to do your March monthly reading for you. So hopefully you will enjoy this.
Yes,
So,
we're pretty excited about that. And we'll see how it worked out like last month, eh? Like last month, all the cards just went so together. It was unbelievable. I was just telling a friend about that too. Says, wow, that went together so well. They usually do.
yeah, it's so crazy because we always ask for what everybody needs to know for the month, and we pick our own cards, usually speaking. And then it's 4 different decks, and it's just so funny how
It
they
always
always
comes out.
align so well together, right?
It's way
So,
cool. Way cool. Meant to be.
it is.
Okay, the one I picked out today was the Divine Masters of Kyle Gray. And the card I picked today for that one was the Buddha. And to me, I'm going to read you the information that comes with the Buddha card first,
Okay.
and then we're going to do the old skip to
We're gonna switch it around. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, something different for a while.
Well, spring is a time of
Change.
bringing change in, so this
And
is
new.
good.
Yeah.
Let's see how this works.
Okay. The Buddha started his life as a melancholy prince. But one day he broke free from the palace grounds and was exposed to the harsh reality of life in the form of sickness, age, and death. It shook him to the core. Suffering was real. This set him off in a spiral adventure that would lead to a leaving behind of earthly pleasures in order to search for the end of suffering in the world. Today, the Buddha is a spiritual master who is willing to help all things beyond fear and suffering. And if you're not practicing Buddhism, this amazing soul will help you reflect on your past and understand your present so that you can reach a heightened state of awareness and stay connected to what is real and true. So the message of this card is this: don't fight the thoughts that disturb you, for when you fight your thoughts, you create war in your mind. Your thoughts aren't your enemies. In fact, your mind is a neutral space that allows you to connect with both fear and love. When this card comes to you, you're being guided to know that when you experience fear, you have an opportunity to stand in love. When your fears appear in a thought form, instead of fighting or running from them, be aware of them, acknowledge them, and realize that they are part of you. Just like Buddha, you have the ability to become one with all it is. When you see your fears and experience them with all your being, they can no longer have power over you. You see, you're only trapped in the prospect of fear, not fear itself. Today, you have the opportunity to make peace with the thoughts in order to encounter more peace in your world. Beautiful card.
Very nice.
Interesting, because just before we started talking today, we were talking about different energies of moods and things like that, and how sometimes the month of February has a humdrum sort of life feel to it because everybody's tired of winter, the darkness, not as much light. We're lucky here in Alberta because we get lots of sunlight usually. But in places where you don't, that it oftentimes brings energies of fear or guilt or shame or depression is what it is. And depression is locked up in all of those feelings, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all of those feelings. So when I see the Buddha come up, to me, the Buddha tells me we have the strength in March to push us through all the things that we want to be pushed through. We have to believe in ourselves, because the Buddha is about that. Believing that you have the strength to overcome all the things that are put in front of you. The things that are put in front of you, us, is to tell us we need to learn something. If we just ignore it, they're just only going to wait for a little while, and we're going to have to feed up to ourselves or be up to ourselves in our truths at some point. And the Buddha will help us to do that, to find what we need to find in ourselves, to bring it close to us so that we can fight through the temptations of the negativity and fears and loss and all that, like all that kind of thing. So good card for the month of March.
It is a good card. What I get from it is I always feel like Buddha is really about going within yourself and finding the answers. So taking that time to really sit within yourself and just, like you said, like kind of find those answers and find what works best for you, because what works best for everybody doesn't always work best for us. And
That's the
so
truth.
we need to listen to our bodies, and we need to be making the changes that we need to make. And when we find that silence within ourselves, that's when we can find the answers. And like I was saying to my stepdaughter today, even a small step is a step in the right direction to make something grander. So I think going into the springtime and into March, finding that quiet place within yourself to find those answers to how to move forward.
It's true. And March always brings a gift of joy and love with it too, because we think about the nicer weather coming and all the rest of it. So it still helps us to climb back on the positive side of us. But some of us don't have the same kind of strength to do that on our own. So when we can look at Buddha and think about the power that comes with Buddha, then it tells us that we have some kind of resource that we can go to find what we need, at least keep us on that even keel of trying to be that person. Don't think about going backwards. Spring is sprung, so spring is springing. Spring is going to be springing and sprung, whatever. Anyway, it just says like, go with the newness that's coming in and forget about the stuff that's holding you back. Go with the newness and your answers will come to you one way or another.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, the cards I chose are the Sacred Destiny Oracle by Denise Linn, and the card is Simplicity, so I'll do the same.
Pretty card.
Oh, but I'm gonna do some glasses first so that I can actually read what is in the book. Since we're doing it backwards today. Okay, there we go. I'm all good now. Imagine a single white feather illuminated against a blue sky, wafting on warm air currents as it floats to the earth with simplicity and grace. Both Native Americans and Egyptians thought feathers were messages from the sky gods. Chiefs would wear feathers to symbolize their communing with the Creator. It was believed that when one wore feathers on one head, messages from a human could travel to spirit. Likewise, messages and energy from the spiritual realms could travel back down to the human through the hollow shaft of a feather. Feathers were also wafted through the air to cleanse and purify a space. The sacred landscape wants you to know, to find a sacred simplicity and have clarity in your life, do only what matters. Release everything else. Simplify your life. Scan all areas and clear both internal and external clutter. Rest, rejuvenate, and only participate in what is truly important to you. Relinquish everything else. Do not delay. Do it now. When your life is cluttered with objects, relationships, time constraints, and emotions, there's no room for spirit. There is too much static and too much stuff to connect to your soul. The smallest amount of clutter clearing can make the biggest difference. So I think that's really an interesting card and goes hand in hand with the card that we just had. Because
it certainly does.
Because it's about simplifying your life and getting rid of the things that no longer serve you. And I think it's really important that we do a clutter clearing every year and get rid of these things, because we collect so much stuff, and stuff all has energy. And if we just keep that in our place where we're trying to do, it makes our mind too cluttered. So clearing out some of that space also clears out your mind and clears out, and it's okay to say no to things. If people are asking you to do things and you feel like that's a time constraint, just say no, simplify your life. And then, you will be able to get those answers more clear. And to me, feathers always mean messages from spirits as well. So I feel like it just will open you up to bring more messages in. So as I think the message for March is definitely simplify your life so you connect to spirit.
I agree. I was thinking while you were doing it, thing that came to me too is feathers to me is balance too, because as they come in, it's like watching a snowflake coming on the ground. In some ways, they fall down somewhat similar. And to me, the feather says lighten up. It's talking about believing in you and yourself, lighten up. It is messages from spirit coming to you, because to me, feathers are like the wings of an angel. Okay, and that brings us all those beautiful messages. But it also says lighten up for the month coming up. Deal with the things that are plaguing you right now. Push them away. Go on to the new things that are coming up for the month of March, and that's the nicer weather, some cases snow, but it's still nicer weather. It's not 50 below. Space for us anyway. And it just brings newness. It's newness. And the feather is so light. We just travel so lightly with us. And if we can allow that to come into our mind and into our hearts, into our soul, into our body, then how much lighter would we be and the burdens that we travel with? Because we all have our burdens, but it would lighten them up so much that it would be, almost like singing to us and being nice to us instead of flagging us on the other side.
Yes.
So anyway, think of the feather, it's a good thing.
Yes, very nice.
Nice. That does go with the other card.
Does. So now let's see what card goes with those two cards. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I'm not really kidding.
Okay, this one is the Mystical Journey Oracle by Tennessee Charpentier. Anyway, beautiful card. And it's about compassion. Imagine that would be about compassion when all the other cards is telling us to be lighter about ourselves, to get rid of our worries, amplify our lives to the better side, lighten up, listen to our own minds, not the chatter of everybody else's, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
So let's see what compassion has to say. Okay, divination. This card represents expressing compassion for yourself and others. Swans symbolize pure love and divine balance. If you are compassionate with yourself, it will flow onto how you treat everyone else. Perhaps you have been pushing yourself lately to be unkind to yourself by rushing things, feeling stressed, taking too much on, and trying to follow strict regimens or ideals. Relax and show yourself some latitude. If you judge yourself harshly, the judgment is passed on to others, and this form of energy just makes everyone feel bad. Becoming quiet and turn inward, concentrating on your heart center. The heart will let you know what is good for you and seek out experiences that are rewarding and full of light. When you honor yourself, being compassionate becomes so much easier. You see the struggles in others and you can feel that what they are going through, and you're then able to lighten their load by sending them good thoughts rather than judgmental ones. Focus on shining your light in the world and become a beacon of the hope to others. This is not the worldly trappings of fame, money, or status, but is true success. When you come from a lighthearted, centered approach, your endeavors will be more prosperous than if you just focus on ego-based outcomes. The action is to meditate on the image of two swans and feel your heart center open and become filled with light, compassion, and loving consideration for others. This will help you to comprehend everyone's story and realign as you're doing the best you can. Wow, that's a nice card.
Oh, that's a very nice card.
Very nice card. Okay, what do we got with that? Okay, the swans to me are always about love. The swans are so gentle and so kind to each other, and oftentimes they travel in pairs. So to me, it's like the lover's card too, where it's telling you to love what's all around you and accept the things that are around you and keep pushing away. Oh, I don't deserve that, or I don't want, why has it always happened to me? No. You go, I have compassion for myself, and it's all wonderful things are happening to me now. That's what's just going to happen. And try to bring that love into your soul as they were, because the colors that, to me, a card like that shows all the colors of, and every color in us gives us more energy and the things that we're looking for, sort of like a chakra system or what do you want to do with that. But this tells me if you love yourself, then you can put love out into the world and you can generate it better back to you too, because what you give out, you receive back. So trying to remember that one too with the swans. That is a beautiful card.
That is a beautiful card.
Right.
Yeah. And what I feel the same way. And I think it's really talking a lot about compassion for yourself. So it's funny because it's 17. So if you add it, then it's an 8, which is like the infinity symbol to me. And so to me, it's like always having that compassion for yourself, always feeling from your heart and knowing that you're trying your best as you're going through your everyday. So the more we simplify ourselves and the more that we find that quiet within to go with the other cards, is the more that we are actually centering ourselves and getting the answers that we need and having that compassion for ourselves and not beating ourselves up and not, we can go out into the world with totally different energy than if we are not having that. And
That's right.
we make steps in the time that we're ready for. And so you need to know that as you're moving forward into the spring. We're springing forward, yes, but sometimes the spring is just a small step. Sometimes it's a large jump. Like sometimes we need to do these scary things too that
Have faith.
but yes, absolutely. Have faith and just allow that love and energy. And with the purples and whites always reminds me of spirit and the third crown or your crown chakra. And it's like listen, but it's hard to listen if you don't have that compassion for yourself because we spend too much time in that itty bitty shitty world on our corner, right? That we're not doing that. So yeah, have some compassion for yourself. So
nice.
That's what I get with
that runs real nice with the other cards that we've taken too. It's take care of yourself. You take care of yourself first. Everything else gets easier. And jump into spring. Let things happen that you would never have dreamt you might do. Try to find one.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of fun afterwards when you sit back and go, holy shit, I didn't think that would ever happen in my life, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The cards that I chose are Archangel Animal Oracle cards by Diana Cooper. And the card that I chose was Llamas, set clear boundaries and enforce them, Archangel Chamuel.
Nice.
It says about llamas. Llamas originate from Lacume, the ascendant aspect of Sirius, and they incarnated into South America, which is closely connected to Venus, the planet of love. They help to keep open the hearts of those around them by bathing in Christ's light. Llamas are gentle, intelligent creatures, offer their wool and their strength in service. They respond generously and loyally to fairness and love, but they know their own limits and set clear boundaries, refusing to be overburdened. They are sociable animals who love to be with other llamas, and this helps make them maintain a fifth dimensional frequency. They bond with and protect any animal they are asked to look after. Like many heart healers, they are gentle, patient, and understanding with those who are in need or sick, raising their vibration and giving them healing. The guidance is this is a card of pure love. It suggests your heart is warm and open, so you may let others impose on your good nature or drain you. Decide what is acceptable for you. Then it is important to set clear boundaries. As we are all energetically entwined, it may be enough for you to define these boundaries mentally. However, your guidance is to be prepared to enforce them tactfully, if necessary. Then you will find it easier to follow your heart and be loyal, caring, and patient with your loved ones and those in need. Remember to find time to see positive friends and do things that make you feel relaxed and happy, and this will give you energy and keep your frequency high. It will benefit you to tune into the cosmic heart for love and support. So I thought it was really funny because we had mentioned love with the swans, and again, 2 llamas. So again, love and that lover's card and being love. And it, I think again, it is just talking about being simplifying and do set clear boundaries, because when there's negative people around us, we don't want to be involved with those people. They bring us down. They drain our energies. And it's not that you can never be around them, but you should really kind of limit your time, because why put yourself in that spot when you're trying to create all this compassion and love for yourself and you're trying to move yourself forward? So this is really saying to me anyways, that this is really a time to connect to the people that you feel very heart drawn towards. And, often it's funny, I just listened to another podcast the other day and it was all about spending time with friends and spending time with family and spending time with parents, siblings, everything. And it really struck me, and this card kind of reflects that of, time slips by so quickly that we don't even realize. And so reaching out to these people and making those times to spend it, especially if it's people that bring you joy, that is what this time is for. So that's what I feel with it.
I agree. Okay. I'm seeing the same as Kimmy. It is about love. And I think what it's saying about love this time is, it's like the llama, they're loving and they're kind and they think of all, they try to be that passionate, but they also spit. And I think when Kimmy was reading it, the first thing I thought about was, yeah, when you get in front of a llama's face and you're doing silly things and stuff, they'll actually spit at you. And maybe that's what we should be thinking in our own minds is if we're around someone that's not giving us and not nurturing us in the way that we want to be around, then it's like we can just in our own minds go, yeah, don't need this. I'm going to spit this out. Don't need this, don't need this. And it helps us to reinforce too with ourselves, but what we do want to claim for our own self, right? So if we allow ourselves to be in a negative situation, I don't know about you, Kim, but when I walk into a negative situation, it's like, oh shit, now what's going to happen? And then you say to yourself, oh no. Oh no, that's not going to make my day. I'm going to be on a positive side and make it the best I can make it. So we are ambushed sometimes with things that we don't want to have around it. But we have to remember what the love in our heart, we have the right to fight off anything we don't want for us. And I think what the big thing about that too is acknowledging it, that you're worth it.
Absolutely. And setting those clear boundaries, I think, where you say, like, whatever you have to do in your head when you're in a situation you don't want to be in, it's like, get out as soon as you can. But if you're in it, just, say to yourself, okay, you know what? I'm just going to put this in a little bag with me. And then when I walk out of here, I'm just tossing that bag with love on, right? Because you don't need to take that stuff with you anymore. And having clear boundaries and saying no when you want to say no is so, so, so important.
Oh, and it's so heart enlightening to know that you've stood up for yourself and for the things that you want for yourself. It's amazing the feeling you have after. So when you feel like you're walking into something in that, walk away. Or, like Kim said, put it in your own little private package that you've got. No one has to know about it. It's your own secret thing. And when you walk away from it, give it all away too.
Yeah.
But also, if you're thinking in a positive light, then it's going to be chances are it's going to be easy for you to walk into the month of March and bring with you that loving heart and try to go after the things that you're really striving for you. Because this is a good time to pick what you want to do, because summer is a good time if it's action things to get out and do it and bring it in, fold it into your livelihood and that, and embrace yourself with the things that mean the most. Some of it could be just walking out in the fresh air. But
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I think in the end, have compassion with yourself, have compassion for other people, try to meet people where they are at in life, and set some clear boundaries for yourself in March, and have a magical March.
Yes, have a magical March. Remember, the most important part of making you better is you.
Absolutely.
That was a good one.
Yeah.